Today's podcast is brought to you by Lake Effect Jiu-Jitsu. Lake Effect is your friendly neighborhood jiu-jitsu school. They provide top-notch martial arts coaching for all ages, including kids class, youth class, adult fundamental, and intermediate Brazilian jiu-jitsu for gi and no-gi grappling. This is an incredible service that promotes self-defense, self-confidence, and self-growth. We are also brought to you by Marquette's only heated yoga studio offering vinyasa and power classes. Tulavesi Yoga's mission is to empower you to live your best life and foster a sense of connection to self and the community. These are two local businesses that I truly believe in and help make all of what I do possible. Without any further delay, here's the podcast. What's up, guys? Welcome to Information Operation. I'm Connor Ryan, and we're coming at you from Marquette, Michigan, bringing you your locally sourced ideas, thoughts, and inquiries. Today on the podcast, we have Rob Goodwin, Joe Mohar, and Jared Haughey. They're local inventors out of Goodwin, Michigan, and have created a directional friction ice jacket designed to save the lives of ice fishermen and outdoor enthusiasts alike. I thought it'd be great to have them on the show to talk about where this idea came from and how they created this product. I actually had the chance to test it out myself today. Welcome to Information Operation, guys. Appreciate you being here. How we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
No worries. So if you could you explain the product that you guys came up with for me?
Yeah, sure. Basically the one, well, I guess you would know, hey, you had it on today as you jumped into Lake Superior, but yeah, basically we came up with some technology that you could add to a jacket or a vest or something like that that has directional friction that would aid you in basic self-rescue if you were able to fall through the ice or something like that. It would be beneficial for like a snowmobile jacket, ice fishing jacket, something like that, but it has directional friction on the front of it and or on the arms that would allow you to porpoise out of the water but not slide back in.
Think of it like dog hair. When you brush a dog backwards, it pushes the hair
Right, or like a cross-country ski kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. And where did this idea come from? Where did you come up with it?
For the self-rescue kind of idea, like falling through the ice.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had an experience when I was younger. I was like 8, and I fell through out on Lake Palisier, which is out by my house in the crossroads, my parents' house in the crossroads. I fell through, and there was my brother and like 5 of his buddies, and we were all playing on Lake Palisier, slid over in the corner. I think there's a natural spring there, just weak ice, fell right down. I don't know if I would have got out if they wouldn't have pulled me out. They literally, they did the whole Boy Scout daisy chain thing, pulled me out. I had to walk home about a mile and a half. It was like 10 degrees out.
Wow.
And then we didn't really tell the truth when I got home because we weren't supposed to be out there in the first place.
Yeah.
So after we got through with the lie, we just said we were playing in puddles because everybody was fucking soaked.
Yeah.
So
did you get hypothermia?
No, I probably pretty close. When I got home, my brother put me in the tub, and he warmed me up like that. But we didn't tell anybody. And then one of my brother's friends' moms called my mom to see how I was doing because they had told her. And we found out not only that we were in a place we weren't supposed to be, that we lied, and that I fell through the ice. So it was like a pretty much a trifecta. Thank you. Trifecta ass beat after that. Cause,
right.
Yeah, I a couple spatulas, wooden spoons broken.
And it is pretty amazing because looking at Jared right now, you wouldn't think that he would get hypothermia. But up till about 25, Jared weighed 130 pounds.
No, that was like 22.
Right.
And that's not an exaggeration.
So he was more my build.
Yeah.
Skinnier.
So is that what really sparked this idea to take off and get off the ground?
Well, when we started doing this think tank thing, I don't know, we kind of have a generic name, a think tank, I guess. It's kind of what we've been calling it. We just 3 guys. I think there's actually a couple more of us, but we've all been friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of Joe decided that we should probably see if we could do something that would be, beneficial to us, the community. If there's a way to make any kind of income off of it, it'd be great. And then
ultimately, we all pitched in and came up with ideas of what we wanted to, what our ideas to do, right? So biggest thing for all of us was to be beneficial to whatever whoever was going to buy our product,
Right.
you know. So, and then after that, if we could, you know, help the community as a whole, or help, you know, ultimately put money in our pockets too. But we filter them all down, and Ice Jack is what came out with, you know. And,
Yeah, we originally started by doing. We had cheese graters that we had taken from the dollar store and bent and velcroed to our
Right.
forearms, kind of like the old Batman things that
Yeah.
would stick in the
Mhm.
ice.
Do you have
But
a
then-
name for this product yet?
not we've been kicking around Ice Jacket, but
That's pretty
we
generic,
don't,
yeah.
we don't have an actual trademark or anything.
Right on.
I'm thinking dog hair after that last analogy. The
Yeah,
dog hair
I
coat.
like it.
That is pretty good.
And do either of you ever have experience with people falling through the ice or vehicles going through the ice?
People and vehicles actually. Three different scenarios. One of them was my buddy Chad from work. He was driving his 4-wheeler across the ice and fell through with his 4-wheeler and everything. And he was having difficulty, and his brother luckily saw him and was able to help him get out of the ice, which that could have been pretty bad. I think he also hit a spring.
Oh, okay.
But my other buddy, he actually cut. This is kind of a funny story. He cut a 4x4 square,
Yeah.
and he was gonna set up a spearing shack, and he fell in his own hole. So, unfortunately, he was all by himself. He was out in the middle of nowhere, and he had a heck of a time. He had a lot of difficulty getting out of the ice, and luckily he got out last minute. But it was everything he could do to get out of the ice, and then he had a couple-mile ride on a snowmobile,
Right.
and it was pretty cold. So he was pretty much locked in that position by the time he got back there.
Yeah, it seems like with all the outdoor activities and stuff going on up here, that's kind of a high demand situation where people find themselves out on lakes, around ice, and it
Sure.
could be potentially dangerous. Have you ever experienced anyone catching hypothermia or like near death in that situation?
Actually, now that I think of it, Mark, our buddy Mark, used to work in the prototype lab. He fell through in Teal Lake, and
Oh, yeah.
he had to get rescued by a stranger, I believe. And they pulled him out last minute, and he was hypothermic. Yeah, I forgot about that, but that was a very close call. Also, too, just doing some research, there was 52 deaths in the North America alone last year, ice-related.
Wow.
Whether it was falling through with trucks, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, or the majority of them was ice fishing. And I think there was even more in 2016. But it's a year thing. There's definitely a need here.
Right, so it's a legitimate concern.
Yep.
So who are you guys when you're not out saving lives?
Saving lives is a little bit much right now. I left my cape at home.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
start with Rob.
sure. Yeah. Okay, so Joe and I met each other when we were, I'm from Scandia, he's from Scandia.
Yeah.
We met each other, I think, in T-ball, right? And then we went to Scandia Elementary School together, played basketball together. Joe and I were pretty much the guys on the playground, playing King of the Mountain, getting in trouble with the lunch ladies, playing Smear the, I guess, fellow with alternative.
Politically correct here on information operation.
Yeah, I guess fellow with,
Early '80s, it wasn't,
fellow with alternative sexual preferences.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, we played.
Good save.
Yeah.
Good save.
So
And when we were using that term, we didn't even know what it meant. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. And so we've known each other our whole lives basically.
Yeah.
And then Jared, we met him in high school, and we all played football together and stuff like that.
I didn't really play. I was on the team. I was much smaller, like we discussed. I was mostly the ball. So,
So this
But,
isn't Gwyn.
yes, yeah.
Right on.
But I graduated college and then became an engineer. Now I'm a senior design engineer with RTI Surgical.
Very cool. What about you guys?
Sure. Rob already basically described my growing
This is
up.
a good
so-
introduction there.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
just-
but I'm an
announces you.
engineer. It's funny, up till a couple months ago, there's probably 3-4 years where we sat across the aisle from each other
Yeah.
as engineers at RTI, and then other than that, I play a lot of volleyball in the summer and go around skiing and hanging out, do a lot of mountain biking and
Right
stuff
on.
like that. So used to do some recording and stuff with music, but I haven't done that much lately. So
Very cool.
My name is Jared. I'm
Hi,
a
Jared.
Scorpio.
Welcome. Hi, Jared.
No, I went to Gwen obviously with these guys. I went to Lake State over in the Sioux for college. Graduated, lived out in Boulder for 4 years. Whoa, that one might be me. Sorry.
I turned my phone down.
I did too.
Yeah, that was a dick move on my part to make my phone's way over there.
You're fine.
It's gonna ring for about 30 more seconds. Well, I moved to Boulder, lived out there for 4 years, moved home,
You already said that.
moved home, and then met my wife. Have two beautiful daughters, and I work at the mine as a driller, and that's what I do now.
He actually lives on Big Shag Lake, to where we do a lot of our testing out there in
Nice.
front of his house.
Yep.
So that works well.
Right on. And how does I'm just curious because I've had somebody else on the show compare Boulder to Marquette. How does Boulder compare to Marquette in your opinion?
I think they're. I mean, obviously, it's temperature-wise, it's very close. We get a little more snow here. The mountains get more snow, obviously there, but I don't know, a lot of the same kind of people, a lot of great interaction, a lot of fun, a lot of activities. People are so active out there. When I first moved out there, I felt fat, very fat compared to everybody else. I was running, and mountain climbing, and they're like, hey, you want to go for a hike? And I was like, dude, if I don't have a fishing pole, I'm not going in the middle of the woods for no reason, So that was my take on it. But everybody, yeah, very similar, kind of a college town, college feel.
Friendly community.
Yeah. Good food, a lot of great food, and a good football team, so it was a lot of fun to watch them, too.
I think Marquette's coming around when it comes to food.
Yeah, I'm not saying
know.
there's not. I mean,
No,
I'll crush some pizza, and I'll crush it. You look at me? I
Yeah.
eat pretty much everything.
I think I just think that the local Marquette community's come out with some good restaurants in the past 4 years that I've been here.
agree.
I've seen it come a long way.
I think there's a lot of food and too, and if you interact in the right circles, there's a lot of activity
Activities,
here. Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like we're leaning closer into each other this whole time. I started over here, and now
It's
I'm right
okay,
here.
guys.
You gravitate, Jared.
Back
Actually,
touch.
I'm grabbing into you.
Bad touch, bad
gravitating
touch.
to you. Yeah.
So you guys are both engineers, and are you an engineer as well? You said you drill. You
Yeah,
drill
yeah.
holes at the mine.
Yeah, I just push buttons. I have this big machine that I make 20-inch holes into the ground, 50 feet deep, with it's just a production drill.
But you do have a business?
I have a business degree, yeah.
Yes,
So
he does.
business degree, public relations minor, but I play in the mud for the most part. Yes.
Right on.
Yeah.
So he needs an outlet to become more into sales and interact with people.
An entrepreneur.
And,
Well, I did sales for
I'm
4 years.
trying to push him into being our sales guy.
I did sales for 4 years for fiber optic out in Colorado. That's what brought me out there. I was doing sales, fiber optic, SFPs, GBICs, custom wire harnesses, all that jazz.
Gotcha.
And then, I don't know, kind of I missed it here. My dad, my stepmom were here, and I just kind of want to get back. So I came back, and everything kind of fell into place. Like I said, bought a house, I bought my parents' place on the lake, and then met my wife, and
Very cool.
yeah.
And how did you guys come together to basically take this as an idea to reality? Like I was out there wearing this jacket with this product on it. How did you evolve from
The cheese grater into a coat.
correct?
Well, I think, we started with cheese grater. We had a few other ideas as far as punk spikes, trying that. And then my girlfriend's a big skier, and she'd go, I'm just going to go hike up, whatever hill with her skis, and she'd put these skins on the bottom of her, telemark skis.
Alpine tour.
Yeah, and she'd go up there. I'm like, I bet you that would be great on the front of this thing. So you would slide up and then come back down.
Right.
And then, so got some glue, some this E6000 super glue, and put it on there. And
Goop, yeah.
yep. And then we're worried about kind of the directional way that you would put the skins on arms. So looked around, found some grip tape,
Right.
put them on there. We're looking at other ideas as far as with the arms and
sleeve.
stuff. Yeah, you saw us trying out different technologies. So, still perfecting the jacket, and looking at some point help maybe getting a manufacturer or something to help us
Right.
really dial it in. But
Very cool. And is there anything else out there like it?
They do sell ice fishing jackets right now. Some of them have flotation, some of them have ice picks, the Frable ice picks that are mounted right to them.
Okay.
Some of them have them mounted in the sleeves. Also, too, there are some jackets with like a throw rope on them attached to them. And so I have not seen anything to this point. I was kind of on Google Patents last night doing some searching, and I was looking for something for directional friction, or friction for that matter, and I haven't seen anything. We still have to continue to do some more searching, but so far I don't think so.
Right. What makes yours different than anything you've seen?
It seems to be pretty much the directional friction, right? So the problem with getting out of the water is it's so slippery when you're trying to get out on slippery ice to where you can't advance, and then when you do, it's when you try to regroup, you slip back in.
Right.
And so basically, the benefit to this is it'll allow you go in one direction but not the other.
Yeah, and I experienced that myself when I had that thing on. You could literally like pull yourself up like a sea lion and then just sit there and you're not falling back. You're not sliding it all back into that ice.
Right. So that's the benefit. It allows you to regroup and you can kind of inch your way out. And then by kicking your feet, you can go forward but not back.
That makes sense.
So it seems to be like the ultimate jacket would have a combination of flotation, possibly a throw rope. I've seen illumination on jackets, whistles, things like that. But if you put this in combination with other technologies, I think you'd have the ultimate best chance of, well, because basically if you go through the ice, you only have, say, 3-4 minutes before you're hypothermic.
Yeah.
So you want to put your best foot forward. And so if you're by yourself, the chances of someone else coming along are, depending on your location, could be pretty, scarce. So if you can rely on yourself to get out, that's obviously the best.
Definitely.
And the nice thing about that too is like with the picks. I'm not sure if you've ever tried the picks.
I haven't.
They're not, especially when they're stuck together. They're kind of a bugger to get apart. And if your hands are cold, I mean, Mohar has talked about it many times. Like you're in that freak out moment when you first go through the ice and you're trying to get that apart. It's around your neck. And this is just something that's like just right there. Like it actually like you as you're. If you're having a freak out moment, you start clinging and holding onto the ice. It'll actually like hold you there.
Yeah.
Give you like a bit of a reprieve to kind of collect yourself and then use it to work your way out.
Yeah, it almost relies on your natural instincts to crawl your way out. Like
Absolutely.
it's like right there for you.
Yep.
And so what's next for this product? What is your plan? What is your end game for this?
Okay.
So
Make
ultimately-
millions and millions and millions of dollars, obviously.
take over the world. Actually, maybe not millions and millions of dollars. We're looking at trying to get in as many people as we can. Try it, maybe make a few more prototypes to get the ultimate, or as good as we can get it. Ultimately, we'd like to shop this around to a clothing company right now, preferably local, and we don't know if. I guess I don't really want to say any names. Does it matter?
Probably not yet.
Because we haven't really talked to
I
anybody
don't want
yet.
to put anybody in the spot.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But some of the local, UP clothing companies, there's a few around that would be awesome if they wanted to help us develop this. But other than that, maybe go to a Frable, a Clam, one of the larger ice fishing companies, or maybe even Columbia or somewhere like that.
Cabela's or something like that. That'd be
Exactly.
awesome.
So, right now I don't know. If we could, I don't know, I guess we could maybe bring somebody else on or something like that knows more about clothing manufacturing and materials that you can use.
Yeah.
But we're mainly trying to prove out that it works and show the benefits of it and hopefully get somebody else to partner with us and run from there.
Right.
The other thing about it, too, is it doesn't have to be for, like, ice fishing. I mean, people like snowmobilers, cross-country skiers,
exactly.
snowshoers, anybody, like, walking around outside, even in the winter. I mean, if you're walking around in the snow cover, you never know if you're walking over something like that.
Yeah.
It could open right up.
Dude, I went through the ice.
Really?
Did you?
Yeah.
We should have been asking you these questions.
Yeah. Well,
Connor, how do you feel about this product?
I think it's great, but when I fell through, I was by myself and there was snow on the ice. So the
Okay.
snow allowed me to get out on my own.
Yeah. How deep
But-
was the water? Was it?
It was deeper than I could see.
Oh,
and
wow.
So it was like I went in, but I only went in like up to my chest because once my arms hit,
Yep.
I was able to pull myself back out. The only issue was it was dark and I was alone. It was out at Forestville. I think it's 3 lakes or something like that.
Okay.
And I was walking across the cross-country ski trail. But this was late in the season. Cross-country skiing was over with. And I'm walking across this thing. I had my buddies drop me off, and I was just going to walk from Forestville back to campus. So it was, 6-mile, 7-mile hike.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, but I was going to set up camp in between, build a fire, and then get myself back to campus.
Yeah.
So I'm walking across this ice, and I just hear it. And I just go through up to my chest. And I start clawing my way out of there, and I'm soaked. And I'm like, okay, I'm 2 miles from where I started. I don't have a ride. I don't have service. I better find a way to build a fire like right now because I mean all I had was on my back. It was dark out. I was by myself, like I said. So found a spot to set up, built a fire, hung my hammock over the fire, got in my hammock,
You're like on a spigot that you kept on turning yourself over.
warmed myself up, and ate some peanut butter. It was all good.
Nice. That is, I have a much lesser story than that, actually.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it up, I was in that same area, but on top of Bareback, and I was going to go across, because you overlook Harlow Lake there, and I was going to go across to my vehicle. I had walked all the way around. I was actually on a pretty long hike, and I thought I would just cut across. And I wasn't going to cut across Harlow Lake. I was just going to go across the swampy area. I only fell into my waist.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, this still sucks. I still had to walk about 45 minutes.
Right. Do you mind
it would've
tapping that light?
Why? It's kind of got a cool effect. It's like we're in a.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was much less than this. It wasn't dark. I did have a ride sitting over there. I had my own vehicle.
Remote started from,
And I
half
was
an hour
only waist deep.
Dude, it doesn't matter. When your legs get cold, you are cold.
Yeah.
I remember after I fell in, walking home, and by the time I got home, everything was stiff. I mean, you couldn't bend my legs. But everything was froze. Like the snowsuit was completely frozen. So.
Right. But you had no plans of going to the hospital or telling anybody.
No.
That's
I mean,
that's
that was
a
the last. I
normal
mean,
kid's reaction.
probably
right?
would have taken off 3 or 4 toes before telling anybody because I didn't want to get in trouble.
Right. What about you, Rob? Have you ever been in a situation where you probably should have went to the hospital?
Yeah, I guess many times. There's been many times also that I was in the hospital, but but I try to avoid things like that now.
What do you mean now?
Well, I'm just trying to grow up a little bit,
Yeah.
It's about time.
What did you do in the past?
Well, I've had multiple crashes, I guess, if you can say that. I've raced snowmobiles, snowcross, motocross, and also 2 car racing, like circle track. I haven't really got hurt circle track,
Knock on wood.
knock on wood, but snowcross, there's a lot of impact. I've landed on people, taking some hits.
Got knocked off a 15-foot berm.
Yeah, that happened, but probably my most significant one was pretty bad, like truck crash, where I got in some oak trees, and
90 plus.
it was 85 when I.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, it was pretty dumb. We had this speed record on this corner. We all had 4 trucks, and so basically we would record like how fast we're going
Yeah.
into the corner, and
Yeah.
and basically we had a speed record. Well, I would have won at 85, except it was nighttime, and so I figured I would have seen a vehicle coming not the other direction. So I was using the whole road, right? So I hit the gravel and I pinched the inside of the corner.
Oh, it's happening
It's
again.
doing it again.
Son of a gun.
Well, anyways,
Sorry, guys.
During the story. Come on, Jared. Come on.
So just as I'm touching gravel on the inside of the corner, I see headlights, and they're coming fast. So I had to get into my own lane. Well, I was going too fast to pull my own lane. I kind of got into a pretty good-sized oak tree.
Damn.
Yep.
I was.
I couldn't hear that story. My phone was ringing. I'm sorry. Can you tell that again?
I don't think anybody could hear it, actually.
I had to go to his
call it back
dad's shop
again?
there.
Yeah, I'm lucky, and I'm lucky I'm still here, and lucky I'm walking, talking, and can do what I do. So
Definitely.
yeah, I hit the tree so hard. I hit it dead center. It stopped me dead. Well, it hit so hard it pulled the actual tubes out of the pumpkin of the rear end.
Mm-hmm.
It just pulled the axle right apart, and it was pretty much the end of that truck.
But what changed your mindset?
About growing up.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the final time I woke up in the hospital after a snowcross accident. I was kind of racing semi-pro national and pro Michigan, and I had good sponsors, all that kind of stuff. I was having the time of my life, and I woke up down in Gaylord, and all my family around sitting there looking at me, and I've had multiple concussions between football and everything else, car crashes and things like that, and it was pretty much at that point where the doctor's like, you don't need to be hitting your head anymore.
Right.
And so I sold my 2 motocross bikes and 3 snowmobiles within like a month, and I bought a pontoon boat. And I was living downstate at the time on the Osaba River, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see less hospitals and more boobies. And guess what? Like that summer, I pretty much saw 0 hospitals and a whole bunch of the
A
others.
whole
So
bunch of the.
yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
actually a pretty good
How
time.
old were you then?
I was like 26, 25.
Gotcha.
He's been working on it. It's taken him a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have snowmobiles now, right?
I've always had one. I just sold mine last year, and I pretty much just have a couple kid-sized snowmobiles now for my little guys.
Right. Well, in the same light, I have to learn the hard way as well. You know, I was on my bike, I think 2 years ago, and went over the handlebars up in Copper Harbor, and felt like I probably broke my back, and I couldn't walk away from the scene. So I sat on my bike and just like rolled my way back down to the bottom of this hill,
And doing
and
the roll of shame.
oh God,
See,
went
I
over.
would have gotten in trouble. My dad would have beat me up for that too. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't tell.
Luckily, I was like 300 miles away from my dad, so didn't go to the hospital or anything. Just did my own physical therapy, and I don't know. It gives you a sense of appreciation for the body that you have because you only get one.
Absolutely.
So it was humbling, but it's hard to grow up fast sometimes, you know.
Amen.
Other than that, do you have a place where these products can be found, or people who are interested, like investors, or maybe um, these clothing lines that you mentioned, could find your product and find the promotional material that you guys have created?
Not yet. Looking at setting up a website either like through Wix or Squarespace or one of those things. So looking into it, want to get a little more footage and get some content to put on the site. But yeah, within the next few weeks to a month, we'll get something up.
You just put in for the patent like last couple weeks ago, right? So we're kind of waiting on that before we made any moves for the marketing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I appreciate you guys coming here to talk about this. And I think it's got a real potential to take off if done correctly and if you guys keep working and putting your heads together.
Yeah, thanks for dumping in the lake today. That was nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was
No,
cool.
it was a blast,
Yeah,
definitely.
nothing like I don't have too many buddies that I could call up and say like, hey, do you want to jump in Lake Superior in like mid-February?
Yeah, let's jump through the ice today.
Yeah, and they're like, sure, why? We'll show you. Okay, cool. And then just show up. So that was cool.
No worries, Rob. Until next time, everybody, ride the waves, dude.